Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. Things have changed slightly around the Marina Bay circuit with 4 corners removed between turns 16 and 19. It means the lap length is now just over 3 miles, and that might come as a welcome relief to the drivers, and more especially their brakes. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Verstappen, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Russell, Hamilton, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Gasly, Magnussen, Ocon, Joe, Sargent, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about this afternoon, and who's going to talk about it with us? None other than Naomi Schiff. Hi, Naomi. So we're getting close to the start of the race. What will this driver be experiencing? Big nerves? Big excitement? What?
It certainly is a time leading up to the race where drivers feel quite nervous because that adrenaline is starting to build and it gets into your mind. So you've got to stay focused, try not to distract yourself too much. But I will say that it's once the formation lap starts, at least it was for me, that was a time where the nerves started to calm down and I got really honed in and focused on the start that was coming.
Okay, you're in the top 10. look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Good job, nice overtake. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 1.9 seconds.
Nice job. Very nice job.
Here's the checkered flag, and our winner has Landoed. It's Lando Norris for victory. And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.